If you are looking for learning about the Mayan calendar, the Mayan culture, and the traditions, unfortunately the internet is a place where most of the stuff you can find are speculations published by outsiders, followers of the New Age movement, and also other nonsense information the mainstream media has been published about them. But we never really hear from the Mayans talking about their own tradition, their own culture. And also there are so many people who doesn't even know that the Mayans are still out there and the culture is still alive. My name is Eduardo Ferronato. I'm a student of the Mayan calendar and indigenous traditions for a long time. So I decided to create this channel so I can give voice to a Maya person so he can talk about his own culture, his own traditions, so I can help they to demystify everything that's being said about them, and I can help you providing some reliable information coming from source. So if you are interested in this subject, please make sure you subscribe to my channel or follow the platform you are watching this video, and also leave a comment or something you'd like me to talk, discuss here with a Mayan. Today I talked to Apab'yan Tew, who is a Mayan spiritual guide, midwife and author of the book Birth of the Universe. We're going to be talking about the Mayan calendar, how to apply, and a bit of his book. I hope you enjoyed this video.
Hello, my name is Apab'yan Tew. I'm an Ak'ir spiritual guide from the highlands of Guatemala, specifically from the Quiché nucleus knowledge for science and spirituality. At the same time, I'm also an associate teacher for the UMK, the Cachiquel Mayan University. I'm a writer, and now I'm going to begin presentations of my new book, and which is the birth of the universe in English, la gestación de un universo, utkik awesh rihunka juleu in Mayan language.
What is the Mayan calendar?
Well, the Mayan calendar, in a first instance, is as any other calendar, is a way of understanding time, counting time, making an agenda, or the classifications of days, the light, the obscurity, and the continuity of time. But for us, it plays a different, an additional role that goes on to what is something that is kind of difficult to understand in the Western world. For us, the Mayan calendar is also a system in which substances interweave to produce time. The basic pointing idea is that every day has a substance, every day has a mood. And now we're going far from just saying mood or spirit. We're talking about consciousness. Every day has a way of consciousness. It's proper consciousness and a different way of approach from us humans. And in the interweaving of nature is also a different way to understand each day. Based on this, for us, the Mayan calendar is not just a system of administration of time. It's also a philosophy and a science to understand the nature as such. And when I'm saying nature, I'm not talking just about the trees or the nature, the surroundings. It's also the cosmical time, the stars, the moon, the stars, the sun, the mountains, the valleys. We understand everything through the Mayan calendar. For us, it's the basis. We have been called the civilization, the carriers of time, or the burden of time. Well, that's what we do. We based everything on the Mayan calendar. For my specific case, or for my specific specialization area of knowledge, in this moment is about the epistemology of time and the epistemology also of consciousness, the pregnancy, the baby, the understanding that can lead us to the ontology of the self, to understand the human being, your behavior. Why? How did you choose? How did you reject? Why did you choose? Why not? Stuff that sometimes goes into, let's say, into cloudy stuff in philosophies. What has been said about my book by some specialists is that it's a unified theory of birth, and I'm very happy about that, because this is a knowledge that goes far back as 2,000 millennium years. And now it's presented for the first time, and I'm very happy to say that it is in Spanish and in English and in the original language, that is Quiché, Mayan Quiché.
I hear that a lot. Why we never hear about the Mayan calendar?
Well, what happens is that there's no authentic information in the outside world. In the communities, everybody talks about the Mayan calendar. In some places, you can see the Mayan ceremony even in front of the church, in front of the stairs of a Catholic church, and some priest has just to say, well, that's your believing. And in the communities, there's no problem. They are everywhere. There are whole towns in which there are more than 2,000 shrines to work on the Mayan calendar, or to do spirituality, healing, consultation, and all that the Mayan calendar can give us. In the communities, there's information, but out in the outside world, especially in the internet, what you can find is just what sadly is cultural appropriation of what has been the work of thieves of knowledge, and people who is going to easily just adapt on some things that they know, and they readapt for personal benefit. And fake calendars, fake about the knowledge. Sometimes you can see information that says, according to the Mayans, which Mayans are you talking about? Because the ancestors, well, they wrote it in a stone, but they didn't. For example, talking about the end of the world, they didn't talk about the end of the world. Or they say, well, in the Mayan highlands of Guatemala, there has been these believings in their superstitious ways. So why there's no information is because of nobody really goes to the mountains. Nobody really wants to spend time with elders. Nobody wants to go to the cornfields in the highlands. Nobody wants to go with the people to talk, to stay. What we saw in the mountains is people, anthropologists or historians that they write the answers, and they depart. They are just outsiders. Sometimes their reports becomes the basis of new creations of so-called Mayan information, but that is not true. What is necessary, if it's the point, is to go, to learn, to stay, or to spend time. But if it's not possible, some of us now, in a new generation of people open to have a dialogue with the Western world, we're beginning to produce new materials for worldwide distribution, as my book, to begin to talk about the authentic Mayan knowledge, or to fill the empty spaces in which there hasn't been a voice for us. So now this is a time in which you can begin to enter. There are some academic good works, that is for sure. There are some very beautiful, but sometimes the academic books or the academic world is a world on itself, in which only researchers, only people who belong to that has access to those books and libraries. Sometimes are very expensive books at the same time. And the only one that is widespread is the Popol Vuh. There's not that much that is really available, and now we are beginning to do that. Also, to help to preserve the real Mayan tradition.